Hello students, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon when you are watching this video lecture. Today, let's discuss about another important topic, definitely a minimum 5 marks and most of the times 10 marks questions can be expected from this topic, that is rectification of errors. So one way we can say this is a topic which is a litmus test for anyone's understanding and conceptual clarity of accounting subject. Because like any other topic, here also the focus will be ultimately on the debit and credit aspects, and the rectification entries will also have to be passed with of course a debit and credit effect if a full entry is supposed to be passed. But is it always required that we have to pass a rectification entry for any error that happened? Not necessarily always. But before entering into the problems which are given in the earlier examinations or the RTPs of ICAI, let us broadly understand different types of errors and what are the stages at which the rectification can happen. See, naturally errors are quite common, particularly when we say human beings are maintaining books of accounts. But the nature of errors can be different. There can be some errors of principle, there can be also errors of omission or errors of commission. What are the types of errors which can be called as errors of principle? For example, treating a capital expenditure as a revenue expenditure is an example of error of principle, or vice versa. Treating a revenue expenditure as a capital expenditure is also an error of principle. For example, let us say some amount of wages has been paid for erection of machinery, for installation of machinery, and that has been debited to wages account, which is an error. Why? Because if any expenditure is incurred for the purpose of installation of machinery, that is a capital expenditure, but erroneously that has been debited to wages account, which is a revenue expenditure account. So that is an error of principle. Of course, that can be rectified by cancelling the old account and creating the new account. In this particular example, what was the wrong entry which was passed? Wages account at R2, cash account or bank account, as the case may be. But what is the correct entry that is supposed to be passed? Machinery account at R2, cash account or bank account. So this is the wrong entry. This is the correct entry that should have been passed, which was not passed. Now what we have to pass is the rectification entry. Of course, there is no problem with the credit aspect. Only problem with this debit aspect. The wrong debit was given to wages. Now since it was a wrong debit given to that, now it has to be credited. And a machinery account which was supposed to be debited was not debited. Now it has to be debited. So what will be the rectification entry now? This is the rectification entry. Machinery account at R2, wages. So these type of rectification entries can be passed when there are errors of principle, which can be different types of errors of principle, but majorly most of the cases we see such type of errors where capital expenditure is treated as revenue expenditure or vice versa. These are errors of principle. Errors of omission, as the name itself indicates, something would have been or could have been forgotten to be entered at all. So if it was omitted, now we have to record that. So that's not a big deal. Whatever was omitted, now we have to record that. So that is errors of omission. Errors of commission are that we can call them clerical errors also, wherein there may be some errors in the posting or maybe some errors in the casting generally. So posting errors means those which would have been posted on the wrong side. Casting errors means those which were committed while totaling the accounts. So these things also require to be rectified. How we rectify them definitely depends upon the stage of the error, but definitely on a broader basis, the errors can be classified into three categories: errors of principle, errors of omission, or errors of commission. Omission is not recording something at all. Commission is recording something but wrongly. How wrongly? Again, possibility of posting it wrong on the wrong side, or possibility of casting it wrong. Casting means totally. So posting errors, casting errors form part of clerical errors. Those are also called errors of commission. Errors of omission are those which are completely not recorded at all. Errors of principle are those which have been recorded but completely in a wrong manner, violating the principles of accounting. That is why we call them errors of principle. Now, how to rectify these errors depends upon the stage at which this error has been identified. Errors can be identified and rectified before the preparation of trial balance, after the preparation of trial balance, but before preparation of final accounts, and sometimes after the preparation of final accounts also. Usually that happens in the next year. So we prepare the final accounts means the current year accounts are closed. So these errors would be rectified, identified in the next year, next financial year, next accounting year. Then the errors can be rectified also. Is the manner of rectifying same in all cases? Definitely not. Of course, when we look at the rectification of errors before final accounts, that is one category. After final accounts is altogether a different category. So before final accounts also there are two categories. Before even preparation of trial balance, after preparation of trial balance. So what happens before preparation of trial balance? If you did not prepare trial balance already yet, so directly what you can do, you can do these rectifications in the respective account itself. Imagine if a particular account is undercasted, whichever side it is, debit side or credit side. If it is undercasted debit side, now you put it on the debit side of that account. Go to that account and say that to undercasting on the debit side of so and so account. Imagine if it was overcasted, then you put it on the other side. Let us say debit side is overcasted, means you put it on the credit side so that you reduce the effect of overcasting of debit side. Same logic applies reverse also. If credit side is undercasted, you will put it on the credit side so that you make it correct. If credit side is overcasted, you put it on the debit side so that you nullify the overcasting effect on credit side. So simple debit and credit, once again principles will apply here, particularly when the casting errors are there. So when the casting errors are there before preparation of trial balance, directly we can go to that account and rectify it. Or if posting errors are there, you posted on the wrong side of the account. Account is correct but wrong side of the account. In that case, you have to do a double impact on the other side. For example, you are supposed to credit a particular account with 200, rather you debited that account with 200. So now how to rectify this? Now you have to credit that account with 400, double effect, because this debit effect of 200 first of all has to be cancelled. For that purpose, you need to credit 200. Now nothing happened actually, only the original error is rectified, but correct thing is not yet done. That 200 credit is supposed to be done here, that also has to be done, which means 400 has to be credited so that the opposite effect of 200 is nullified and a fresh credit effect of 200 is also given. Like that also these posting errors can be rectified. Of course, everything depends upon the point that we look at. I will repeat this always. Never try to remember or by heart any rectification entries. Never try to remember or by heart this stage means this entry, that stage means that entry, like that. Only go by the concept. Concept is once again debit and credit. So what happened actually in that particular error? That is what we have to look at. Second point, at what stage we are in? Only these two things we have to look at. What happened, if we understand at what stage we are in, if we understand, definitely we can rectify that error very easily. So now what are we looking at? Which stage we are looking at? Before preparation of final accounts and even before preparation of trial balance. So the advantage here is you can directly go to that account and do whatever the changes that you want to do, whether it is posting error or casting error. What if it is an error of omission? Nothing. Now you pass a fresh entry. If you did not pass an entry earlier, now you just pass that entry. So there is nothing to rectify there. Rectification is only by passing that entry which has been omitted earlier. So before the preparation of trial balance, if it is an error of commission, simply we have to go to that particular account and change it. Whatever the change to be really affected now, whether it is posting error or casting error. But if it is an error of omission, now you pass the correct entry, no rectification entry. That is the only correct entry which was not passed at all earlier. So there was no wrong effect earlier, zero effect was there. Now we are giving effect to that. So only you just pass a correct entry. That is how you have to treat with errors of omission. Now the errors of principle we discussed already. For those type of errors, what you have to look at is what is the correct entry to be passed or should have been passed, and what is the wrong entry that has been passed, and what is the rectification entry that now we have to pass. So these two things you should have in brain or you should have in rough notes elsewhere. But actual rectification entry should come and shown in the main answer. So that working you have to do separately as a rough work, or if you have the better practice and experience, you can do that in the brain also. I suggest to put on paper, because always on paper our brain works more accurately. So just like what we did here, first write a correct entry, then write the wrong entry, or whatever. First write the wrong entry, then write the correct entry. What is the rectification entry? So what is supposed to be passed, what is actually passed, and what is the now rectification entry to nullify the effect of the mistake. That is how errors of principle can be rectified. And sometimes these errors can be compensating errors also. The name is compensating errors. So why we call them compensating errors? Because if the compensating error is performed or done, then the trial balance would still agree. In the example what we took, for example, wages paid for installation of machinery was debited to wages account instead of machinery account. That will not have any impact on the trial balance. Trial balance total will still tally. So trial balance will not have any impact with such kind of errors. That does not mean that is correct. So you have to always keep in mind, trial balance is only a prima facie evidence about the arithmetical accuracy of the books of accounts. That does not mean everything is perfect. No. Still there can be errors. Compensating errors cannot be detected with trial balance, because trial balance tallies and people may think that everything is good, but maybe there is an error which was a compensating error. So compensating errors have to be rectified by the same principle more or less, which is first of all identifying what should have been the correct entry, then identifying what was the wrong entry that is passed, and what should be the rectification entry. This is how the rectification should happen. At what stage? Before trial balance is prepared. Now after trial balance is prepared, trial balance is there already. Of course it is not tallying. If it is tallying also, if there is a compensating error, we still do the same way. Correct entry, wrong entry, rectification entry. Compensating errors will be generally rectified using the same methodology. That means trial balance is still tallying, but still you have to rectify those errors which are compensating errors. But there may be errors which are not compensating errors, like errors of posting or errors of casting, or any of the errors which are having an impact on trial balance. Of course, errors of omission are also compensating errors, because you did not do anything. Trial balance will tally. So errors of omission, errors of principle can be most of the times compensating errors. But whatever they are, compensating errors mean what? They are the errors which will not have any impact on trial balance. Means trial balance will tally. They will not have impact does not mean trial balance total will be correct. Right? Trial balance total is wrong. Some accounts are definitely wrong totals they are having. But tallying trial balance is happening. So tallying of trial balance is not a conclusive proof that all accounts are perfect. That never is a conclusive proof. It is only a prima facie proof, preliminary proof. That's all. Now anyway, compensating errors we don't have to worry because we just have to pass any entry, whether it is a rectification entry or a fresh entry that is supposed to be passed. But for those type of errors which are not compensating errors, trial balance will not tally. So what happens? Then whatever the amount that is short of, if the trial balance is short of debit balance or credit balance, whatever it is, that will be kept in a suspense account. So suspense account is not a permanent account. It is only a temporary account which is there till we rectify all the errors. Because it will take some time to identify the errors and rectify them. Temporarily we keep those amounts in the suspense account. By the way, you are not keeping any amount in the suspense account. When we are already rectifying the errors, we have to understand that already there is an amount in suspense account. And one more suggestion I can give at this juncture. Some students, while preparing final accounts or while preparing any balance sheet, if that doesn't tally, they have this bad habit of putting that in suspense account. Never ever do that. You are not authorized to create a suspense account. Suspense account is there itself means there is error. If you have a suspense account in your own answer, that means you are agreeing that I made errors. That is a very bad display of our actually lack of knowledge, not knowledge. So don't use suspense account anywhere else. We use it here. Why? Because already it is there. We did not commit error, boss. Somebody did error. We are rectifying it. We are using suspense account does not mean we are creating suspense account here. We are only using it so that that suspense account ideally should have been nullified now. So don't think we are creating suspense account here. We are only just actually killing suspense account. How are we killing suspense account? Which is already existing because of the errors committed by somebody, whoever is that accountant, by passing the entries through suspense account. So here we cannot go to the account and change the balances now. Errors of posting or errors of casting, like we did when we were rectifying them before the preparation of trial balance, we could directly go to the account and either debit it or credit it. Now we cannot do that. Why? Because trial balance is already there. Account stage we crossed. The accounting process, everybody should know: journal, ledger, then trial balance. So now already trial balance is done. You cannot go back to ledger now. So what has to happen? Now entry has to be passed because it is a one-sided error. Suspense account will be there only when the error is a one-sided error. For example, let us say the question says the sales book is overcasted by so and so amount, whatever, 1000 rupees, let us say, example. Sales book is overcasted by 1000 rupees. So sales book is overcasted by 1000 rupees means sales account is actually more by 1000 rupees now. So definitely we have to cancel. That means we have to debit sales account for sure. Already sales account was more in credit balance. It was because sales book was overcasted by 1000 rupees. So now we have to cancel that. That is for sure. Sales account has to be reduced. Sales account being a credit balance normally, reducing it means now we have to debit it. That is okay. To what? That is the question. That is where suspense account will help us. To suspense account. So this is the entry that we pass in order to rectify that error. If the sales book was overcasted by 1000, that is only an example. Like this, so many errors can be there. Never try to remember errors. Never try to remember the rectification entries for errors. Whatever the error comes, you just have to observe what happened and at what stage we are in, what was the impact of the error, whether it is on debit side or credit side, how much is the impact. And definitely very crucial thing is what stage we are rectifying it. Now we are at a stage where the error is being rectified after the preparation of trial balance but before preparation of final accounts. So suspense account can be still used. So we have this rectification entry which can be used like sales account at R2, suspense account. Then what about the errors which are compensating errors to be rectified now? There is no difference actually. The errors which are compensating errors are errors of principle, errors of omission, all of them, whatever the way we normally rectify before the preparation of trial balance, which have two accounts being affected separately. That means there are dual accounts which are being affected, one debit, one credit. They will be rectified now also in the same way. There is no difference at all. So when the suspense account will come into picture? Only when the account or the error is a one-sided error. One-sided error means it has impact on only one account, whichever account it is. In this example, the impact was on sales account. Impact was excess credit. When it was excess credit, we have to cancel that, means we debited it, which is sales account. Then the question comes, what to credit? That is where suspense account will be useful. So suspense account is useful only for one-sided errors. It is not useful. You should not use that for compensating errors or errors of omission. No, at all. That is before preparation of trial balance. After preparation of trial balance, compensating errors as well as errors of principal or errors of omission, the entries will be same. There will not be any difference. So that is the only difference between the way of rectifying errors before preparation of trial balance and after preparation of trial balance. Most of the errors are rectified in same way. Only errors which are one-sided errors before preparation of trial balance will be rectified in the respective account. After preparation of trial balance, they will be rectified using suspense account. That is the only difference between these two. Nothing else. Now comes something which is after the preparation of final accounts also. Means after the preparation of final accounts automatically means this year's books of accounts are closed. Then we have to talk about next year only. So in the next year, how can we rectify the errors? Because we are identifying now is next year, the errors of past year. So we call that as prior period items. So prior period items we call that. But for this purpose, one main principle that we have to understand and remember is, if the error is related to a real account or a personal account, there is no problem at all. You just debit it, credit it, whatever the treatment you want to do, you do that. If that error is affecting a real account or a personal account. But if the error is affecting a nominal account, you cannot debit it or credit it. Why? Because nominal account finally goes to the profit and loss account. So if you are debiting the nominal account now freshly, you are treating something as an expenditure of current year, which is not actually an expenditure of current year, which was a prior period item. Is that a correct thing? No. Same way, if you are crediting now a nominal account, that means you are treating something as an income of this year, which is not related to the income of this year, which was actually a last year's income. So can we club the last year's income with this year's income? No. Then what is the point of periodicity? That is why we don't directly debit or credit nominal accounts. So wherever we have to debit or credit nominal account, we use something called profit and loss adjustment account. So profit and loss adjustment account is the account that has to be used wherever we have to either debit or credit nominal accounts. Real accounts, personal accounts, don't worry, happily you debited, credited it, no problem. Anyway, we can't do anything other than debit and credit. But wherever nominal account is supposed to be debited or credited, you have to use profit and loss adjustment account as the item. Of course, if it is a one-sided error, then suspense account will still continue, because when the last year's trial balance did not tally, then only this error was there, one-sided error was there. Last year trial balance did not tally, but still we continued with the closure of final accounts. That means maybe already in the balance sheet of the final accounts also last year would have been there a suspense account. So that suspense account is still there. Now we have to cancel that. So suspense account still continues for one-sided errors. So suspense account, profit and loss account, profit and loss adjustment account, and real accounts and personal accounts will be the ones which will get affected after the preparation of final accounts. And debit, credit, which has to be debited, which has to be credited, everything depends upon what is the error and how do we rectify that. There we should not have any particular memory. We should only know the concept of debit and credit, which we should already know. So simply all that we need to apply is, main thing, the thought process here. 10 marks question, 10 marks is not small number of marks. Even 5 marks also is not small number of marks. Full 5 marks can be obtained. First of all, what is the stage of the error? Second, what is the type of the error? And what is the rectification that you have to do of this error? So these things have to be definitely clearly thought. Then only you have to put pen on paper by writing a journal entry. Don't just jump and write journal entries. Okay, this is the rectification entry. I know this point. I know this entry. So I write the entry. That is what people do. The answer to the questions they know. Unfortunately, our education system has been teaching us that. Don't do that. Answer to the question that is asked. Don't answer the question that you know. You are not supposed to know the questions. You are only supposed to know the concepts. What is asked? Think. Don't just answer directly. Think. What was asked? What is the stage of the error? What is the type of the error? What kind of entry I should pass? What should I do here? Then with your thought process, whatever the answer you come out with, that you will put it on paper. And one more point to be noted here, while writing rectification entries, compulsory you have to put narrations. Not only for rectification entries, for that matter, throughout the accounting paper, wherever you write journal entry, narrations are compulsory. This is something that people take it light and lose marks unnecessarily. They think that kya hota hai, what happens even if I write or don't write narrations, it's okay. No, it is not okay. You have to write narrations. Unless particularly told in the question that no need of narrations, always journal entry means there should be narration. Dot. Ledger means that should be totaled. People leave it like this, blank. No, you have to total that. Whatever is the amount here, you have to balance that, whichever side the balance is. Don't round and all. That you don't do. But balancing and totaling for a ledger, compulsory. Narrations for a journal, compulsory. Heading for any of the accounts or statements that we are preparing, compulsory. These are presentation issues. Small issues also will sometimes cost us big marks. And if we take care of these issues, the extra marks that we get will definitely add to the overall score, and that brings us a better score always. So these are the basic things to be noted and understood, and not just remembered or by hearted, but definitely followed while solving the questions of rectification of errors. We will also solve some of the past examination questions and the questions given in the revision test papers of ICAI to understand how these rectification of errors can be actually done. For saving time, I have also kept the answers ready so that we can save some time. But I'll explain the logic behind the answers. But as I told already, don't try to remember the answers. Try to understand the logic behind the answers. So let us start with question number 1. Following errors were committed by the accountant of whoever it is. First one, credit sale of 400 rupees to Trivedi and Co. was posted to the credit of their account. That is first error. Second error, purchase of 420 rupees from Mantri and Co. passed through sales day book as 240. So 2 errors are there. How would you rectify these errors? Assuming that they are detected before preparation of trial balance. That is one case. Second case, if they are detected after preparation of trial balance but before preparing final accounts. And of course the difference in the trial balance was taken to suspense account. And what if these were detected after preparing final accounts? 3 different stages. What will be the way of rectifying these errors was asked. 2 errors, 3 different situations. So these type of questions can be asked for 5 marks, for 4 marks, like that. Whatever it is. Let us take the first error. What happened there? First we have to understand. Credit sale of 400 rupees to Trivedi and Co. was posted to the credit of their account. So this is a one-sided error. So normally Trivedi and Co. account is supposed to be debited. So what should be the correct entry first of all? Should have been Trivedi and Co. account at R to sales account. Sales account, there is no problem. But instead of debiting Trivedi and Co., they did a credit to Trivedi and Co. So what is supposed to be done? If the error is detected before preparation of trial balance, what you need to do is, you have to go to Trivedi and Co. account, where already there was a credit there, which is wrong. Ideally it should have been debited with 400, but they credited it with 400. Now to rectify that, what we should do? We should debit Trivedi and Co with 800. So that's what happened. So if it is before the preparation of trial balance, no entry will be there, but you have to go to the Trivedi account and debit it with 800 rupees. That is the answer. What if the same thing is detected after the preparation of trial balance, but before preparing final accounts? That means there is a suspense account. So here we cannot go to the account and debit it. So naturally you have to debit it through an entry. So what is the entry that should be passed now? Again, Trivedi account has to be debited with 800, that is for sure. So Trivedi account at R 800, that is for sure. But sorry, credit should be given to what? Naturally suspense account, there is no option. So the entry here will be Trivedi and Co account at R2 suspense account. That is the entry to be written as a rectification entry after the preparation of trial balance. Will there be any difference if this is detected after preparing final accounts? No, there will not be any difference. Why? Because Trivedi and Co is a personal account. It's not a nominal account. It is not any account that is reflected in trading account or profit and loss account. It is an account which is reflected in balance sheet. So there is no issue. There is no need of using profit and loss adjustment account. The same entry can be passed even after preparation of final accounts also. That is Trivedi and Company account at R2 suspense account. That is the three different situations. These are the three different situations in which first error can be rectified. Second one, purchase of 420 rupees from Mantri and Co passed through sales day book as 240. Sales day book means that is a sales book. So definitely there is a error here. Actually it is a purchase, but it is passed through sales day book as 240. Here we can find out what is the correct entry that should have been passed, what is the wrong entry that has been passed because of passing it through sales day book, and what is the rectification entry. That is the way we have to approach this type of errors, because it is completely wrong. It is not just a one-sided error. So ideally it is a purchase from Mantri and Co. So ideally the entry that was supposed to be passed should have been purchases account at R2 Mantri and Co. That should have been the entry, which is 420. Purchases account at R2 Mantri and Co. 420 should have been the entry that was supposed to be passed. But because this is passed through sales day book, effectively what happened? Mantri and Co account at R2 sales it happened. Sales day book is something where credit sales will be there. So Mantri and Co account at R2 sales, that too 240 was passed. Now we need to rectify this entry. So what was supposed to be debited, it was not debited. And what was supposed to be credited, it was not credited. What was not supposed to be debited, it was debited. What was not supposed to be credited, it was credited. So everything has to be now rectified. So how can we do that? First of all, what is supposed to be done, that has to be done. So purchase account at R 420, now we have to definitely pass that entry. So rectification entry will be purchase account at R 420. Sales account earlier credited, now that has to be cancelled, means it has to be debited. So purchase account at R 420, sales account at R 240, to Mantri and Co 420, which was supposed to be credited, now we are crediting it. To cancel the earlier debit, now we have to credit that also. So Mantri and Co account has to be totally credited with how much now? 640. So the correct entry now will be purchase account, rectification entry actually will be purchase account at R 420, sales account at R 240, to Mantri and Co 640. That is the error rectification process, whichever way we look at. But if it is before trial balance, definitely that is the entry purchase account at R 420, sales account at R 240, to Mantri and Co 660. Even after preparation of trial balance also, this will not change because it is not a one-sided error. So no suspense account is involved. But After final accounts, Mantri and Co credit is no problem. That is okay. That will be there. But can we debit purchases and sales now in this year, because these are actually related to last year? We cannot. That is why what should we do? Instead of debiting purchase account and sales account, we have to debit profit and loss adjustment account. So any item of trading account or profit and loss account, ideally for rectifying it after preparation of final accounts, should be routed through profit and loss adjustment account. So the entry will be profit and loss adjustment account at R2, Mantri and Co 660. Crediting Mantri and Co 660 is okay at all stages, no problem. But debiting sales account and purchase account after preparation of final accounts is not correct, because it is not related to this year. That is a prior period item. That is why instead of debiting the current year sales and current year purchase account, we have to debit something called profit and loss adjustment account. That is the entry after final accounts. That's it. That is the way of rectifying such kind of errors. So what we have to do here is, first we have to find out what is the correct entry that is supposed to have been passed, what is the entry that has been wrongly passed, and what is the rectification entry that is supposed to be passed at different stages. So that was question number 1. Then go to question number 2. Give journal entries, of course with narration, to rectify the following errors located in the books of a trader after preparing the trial balance. You have to read it very carefully. What is the stage of the identification of error? After preparation of trial balance means, if there is any one-sided error, simply we use suspense account for one of the sides, whether it is debit or credit, and we rectify the other account, which is debit or credit. So after preparing trial balance means there is going to be usage of suspense account. Now, whether we use suspense account or not depends whether it is a one-sided error or a two-sided error. Let us look at them one by one. First, an amount of 4,500 rupees received on account of interest was credited to commission account. So here, correct entry should have been bank account at R2 or cash account at R2 interest. But what was passed there? Bank account at R or cash account at R2 commission. So ideally the entry should have been bank account or cash account at R2 interest. But what they passed is bank account or cash account at R2 commission. It's because only the entry is on the credit side, which was credited to commission rather than interest. Now how to rectify this? This wise debit side there is no problem. Only issue is with here. And this is the wrong thing. This is the correct thing. So wrong thing has to be cancelled means credit has to be cancelled means it has to be debited. So commission account at R2 interest. Simple. That is the rectification entry. So commission account at R2 interest account. Don't need to use this word interest received etc. Commission account at R2 interest account or interest income account you can call it. Interest income. Because if you just say interest, it will be a question mark whether it is interest expenditure or interest income. So that is why better to use interest income. Even if you use interest received, that is not wrong. But income is a better word than received. So that is the rectification entry. Amount is same 4,500. That is the point number 1. Second point, a sale of 2760 was posted from sales book to the debit of Sobhag Traders at 2670. You have to read it and understand carefully. Sales book means credit sales are recorded there. From there, of course, it goes to sales account. There is no problem with that. However, this same thing 2760 should have been debited to Sobhag Traders because they are our debtors now. They did the same thing, correct thing only. So they posted to the debit side of Sobhag Traders only. But the problem here is not the side. Problem is with the amount. 2760 was supposed to be debited, but they debited only 2670. So 2760 minus 2670 means they have debited short 90 rupees to Sobhag Traders. Once that is a short, only one-sided error this is. So naturally, Sobhag Traders account at R2, suspense account will be the entry that should be passed as a rectification entry. Amount is 90 rupees. That's all. That is point number 2. Third, 35,000 rupees paid for purchase of air conditioner for personal use of proprietor debited to machinery account. So once again, ideally the entry should have been drawings account at R2 cash or bank. But they passed machinery account at R2 cash or bank. So credit side there is no problem. only issue with the debit. They debited machinery account instead of drawings account. So what we should do? Now we should debit drawings account. What was the wrong debit earlier machinery? To cancel that, we have to credit that. So what will be the correct rectification entry now? Drawings account data to machinery account 35,000. So drawings account data to machinery account 35,000 is the rectification entry. Of course, you have to write narration correctly. What is the narration? Whatever is given in the question, that itself is a narration. And what are you correcting now? That has to be written there. So here, correction of a wrong debit to machinery account for purchase of air conditioner for personal use. Like that, you have to write narration. Then, question number 4, point number 4. Goods returned by customer 5,000. The same has been taken into stock, but no entry was passed in books of accounts. Even no entry was passed, that is an error of omission. Simply what we have to do, we have to pass an entry for that. Simply goods returned by customer means what? Are they purchase returns or sales returns? Sales returns. Customers are returning means we sell goods to customers. They are returning means sales returns. So what should be the entry for that? Customer account and all you cannot use. If it is a particular name of a person like X, Y, or a P, Ramu, Raju, like that, you can use that name. If the word is used as customer, customer is in accounts a debtor. So the entry now ideally has to be sales returns account debtor to debtors account. Sales returns account debtor to debtors account. Sales return can also be called as return inward account. Whichever name you use, that's not a problem. But that is sales returns account debtor to debtors account. Amount is 5,000. It is an error of omission now being rectified by passing the correct entry. Nothing to change anything there. Simply whatever was omitted earlier, now we are passing it. That's all. That was point number 4 in question number 2. This was asked for 4 marks in one of the recent examinations of CA Foundation. Now let's move on to question number 3. The following mistakes were located in the books of a concern after its books were closed and a suspense account was opened in order to get the trial balance agreed. Of course, if there are one-sided errors, definitely there would be a suspense account. But what we are rectifying now, that you have to understand, after the books were closed means what? There will be P&L adjustment account also if required, not always. When it will be required? Whenever we have to impact any nominal account, or for your general understanding, any account that reflects trading account or profit and loss account. Any balance sheet item, there is no problem. Trading or P&L account item, we cannot debit or credit it because those items are actually prior period items and they will distort the current year profit if we record them now because they are not related to this year. So in order to avoid that distortion, we use this P&L adjustment account separately for such kind of situations. Now let us see how the rectification entries have to be passed. First one, of course these errors happened not now, errors happened in last year. Rectification is happening now, that you have to understand. Rectification we are doing now, errors happened last year, last accounting period. Sales book was overcast by 1,000. Overcast means only one-sided error, that means sales account was more by 1,000. Sales account is a credit balance. So credit balance of sales account was more by 1,000. Now definitely we have to debit it now. Means we have to debit 1,000 rupees for sure. But the question is, can we debit sales account now? No, we cannot because already books are closed. So what we have to debit rather? P&L adjustment account. Then what we have to credit? No option but suspense account. So that entry will be P&L adjustment account data to suspense account. That is 1,000 rupees. First point. Since it was a one-sided error, the other side will be suspense account. Any one-sided error, other side is suspense account. When? After preparation of trial balance or after preparation of final accounts. Second one, a sale of 5,000 rupees to X was wrongly debited to the account of Y. Okay. So X is a different person, Y is a different person. Both are personal accounts, there is no problem. So once again, just for understanding, what should have been the entry that should have been passed, correct entry, we should have passed X account data to sales. But what we passed, should have passed this, X to sales. But what they passed, Y to sales. This was okay. So mistake was in the debit. Now we can rectify it without any suspense account, without any P&L adjustment, because both are personal accounts. Y was unnecessarily debited, so we have to credit Y. X was supposed to be debited but not debited. Now we have to debit it. So now X account at R2, Y account, 5,000 rupees. That is the rectification entry. X account at R2, Y account. Of course, narrations have to be written carefully and meaningfully. Don't write stories. Just narration should be maximum 2-3 lines, not more than that. So that is second entry. X account at R2, Y account. Then third point says general expenses 180 rupees was posted in the general ledger as 810. So expenses, this is expenses means definitely a nominal account. So expenses were actually 180, but they were posted as 810. So what is the difference here? 630 rupees extra expenses were debited unnecessarily. Now we have to credit them for sure. But can we credit the expenses now? We cannot. So what we should credit now? P&L adjustment account. What should be debited? No option. Suspense account. So suspense account at R2, P&L adjustment account, 630 rupees. That is the rectification entry for third point. Next, fourth point, a bill receivable for 1550 was passed through bills payable book, completely wrong, and the bill was given by P. So the subsidiary book in which it was entered itself is wrong. So definitely it will affect bills payable book and P. So if you observe the entry that is supposed to be passed, bills receivable to P. What was passed is P to bills payable, because it was passed through bills payable book. So completely wrong. So what we should do now? Rectify it. It should be, of course, amount is 1550. Here also 1550. Now what should be the rectification entry? It can be rectified without any P&L adjustment, etc., because all of them are personal accounts only. So bills receivable account at R 1550. Bills payable unnecessarily credited earlier. So bills payable account at R 1550 to P, double of it, because P was unnecessarily debited. To cancel that, we have to credit it now. It was supposed to be credited, it was not done. Now we have to do that again. So 2 times we have to credit P account. That means double of it. So 1550 means 3100. That is the rectification entry. Bills receivable account at R, bills payable account at R to P. Bills receivable account at R 1550, bills payable account at R also 1550. Now 2P account 3100. That was fourth error which we rectified. Then fifth point says legal expenses 1190 paid to Miss Neetu was debited to her personal account. Again, understand what happened. Legal expenses is a nominal account. So ideally the entry should have been legal expenses account at R to cash account. But what we did, Neetu account at R to cash account we did. Who is Neetu? She is not our customer. She is not our any payable or something like that. It is only an expenditure. Somebody, let us say to staff we pay salaries. Salaries to cash we will write. We will not write about each name of the employee and all. So that is wrong. It was debited to the personal account of Neetu. Now definitely that has to be cancelled. Means Neetu's personal account has to be credited. That is for sure. How much? This 1190. That is guaranteed. Debit what? Debit, of course, should be given to legal expenses. Can we do that now? We can't, because it is also a nominal account. So obviously what is the option? P&L adjustment account at R2, Neetu account 1190. That should be the entry for point number 5. P&L adjustment account at R2, Neetu 1190. That was point number 5. Then point number 6. Cash received from Ram was debited to Sham 1500. So here, cash was received from Ram, but debited to Sham. Ideally, when you receive cash account that are to Ram account has to be passed. Cash account was not touched. Rather, Sham account was debited with 1500 rupees. So how to rectify this account? Here, unnecessarily, Sham account was debited, which was not supposed to be debited. So that has to be cancelled. That means Sham account has to be credited now. Since cash was received from Ram account should have been credited. That was not credited. So Ram account has to be credited now. So Ram account and Sham account both have to be credited. But debit has to be given to suspense account. So this is also something which is only affecting one account, which was Sham account. By mistake, Sham account was debited. So how are we rectifying? By crediting Sham account now. Whereas Ram account is supposed to be credited, but it was not credited. Now we are doing it, and the debit 3000 will go to suspense account. One-sided error only happened in Sham account. Cash account has no problem. So that is what we have to understand there. So the point is, unnecessarily a debit was done of 1500, whereas it is supposed to be a credit of 1500. That too not same persons, different persons also. So because of that debit of 1500, unnecessarily there would have been a difference of 3,000 rupees in the trial balance earlier. That is now being rectified as debit to suspense account. So debit suspense account to Ram account to Sham account is the rectification entry. Then the seventh point is, while carrying forward the total of one page of the purchases book to the next, amount of 1235 was written as 1325, means more. 1325 minus 1235 is 90 rupees more purchases was recorded because of this. Because purchases book total will go to purchase account. So purchase account was more by 90 rupees. Now we have to reduce it. Purchases is normally debit balance. You have to reduce it, means you have to credit it now. So credit purchases can we do now? Can we credit purchase account now? Now we can't, because already accounts are closed. So instead of crediting purchase account, what we can credit is the profit and loss adjustment account. Of course, debit has to be given to suspense account. So suspense account at R2, profit and loss adjustment account 90 rupees. So these are the various rectification entries. And because in this question also what was asked is find out the amount of suspense account, means you have to also prepare suspense account. Wherever suspense account is there, you have to just use that debit or credit. So in case of preparation of suspense account, what all will be there? By P&L adjustment account, 1000 will be there. That is there. By P&L adjustment account, 1000. That was from the first entry. Then to P&L adjustment account, 630 will be there. That is from the third entry. Then fourth entry does not have suspense account. Fifth entry does not have suspense account. To Ram, to Sham, 1500 will be there. So that is also from one entry, that is sixth entry. To P&L adjustment account, 90. That is from seventh entry. Then what is the balancing figure? This would have been the amount of suspense account in the last year's books of accounts. That is the difference in trial balance in the last year's books of accounts. Ideally. What if it is not the amount? Maybe still there is more suspense account. That means all errors are not yet detected. If all errors are detected and rectified, now there will not be any balance in suspense account. We don't know how much is the balance in suspense account. But if all errors are detected and rectified, definitely the balance in suspense account would have been 2720 only. Now it has got cancelled. That is the balancing figure. That is the balance in suspense account 2720. So that is just simply preparing a ledger called as suspense account from the entries that we made only. So whatever the entries we made of suspense account, from that only the suspense account will emerge, not specially to be prepared or something like that. So that is another type of question which was given in the past examinations. So these type of questions can be asked for 10 marks. Next, another question which was given in the past examinations is question number 4. Correct the following errors without opening a suspense account and with opening a suspense account. So without opening suspense account means what? Before preparation of trial balance. With opening suspense account means what? After preparation of trial balance. That's all. We are not talking about errors being rectified after preparation of final accounts and all. No. Before preparation of trial balance, after preparation of trial balance. What happens? First point. Sales book has been totaled 2100 short. Sales book totaled short, undercast happened means sales account is undercast by 2100. So sales account, you have to now go to sales account, particularly to that ledger. Since it was undercast, now we have to credit that. Let us first focus on without opening suspense account. Then we can come back to with opening suspense account later. So without opening suspense account, what has to be done? Directly go to the sales account and credit that sales account with 2100 by saying that by undercasting of sales book. That's what you can use the word. Correct word is undercasting of sales book. That is 2100. Simple. So you can save time. You don't need to write all these descriptions and all. Simply you just prepare the sales account and say by undercasting, write full words of sales book 2100. That's all. That is the rectification that you have to show. With all these things, it will not be sufficient for you to, time will not be sufficient. So don't worry about this debit date, particulars, etc. etc. All these things will not be possible to be made all the times. So just particulars, debit credit is enough. Even particulars also not required. Just write debit, credit, account, and treatment is important. Treatment is what? By undercasting of sales book. Directly you go to sales account and rectify it on the credit side because it was undercast. Second, goods worth 1800 rupees returned by Gaurav & Co has not been recorded anywhere. See, if it is not recorded anywhere, now we have to record that. So simple. Returned by our customer means what? It is a sales return. Sales return means it should be debited. So sales returns account at R1800 to Gaurav & Co. That is the entry. Sales returns account at R2 Gaurav & Co 1800. That should be the entry. It is an error of omission. You can mention that it is an error of omission. Of course, the same entry will be there even after preparation of suspense account also. That will not be any difference here. So here both without opening suspense account or after opening suspense account, the entry will be same. Because it is an error of omission, two accounts are affected, suspense account will not be touched. So same entry will be there even in the second scenario also. Then third, goods purchased in 2250 have been posted to the debit of supplier Sen Brothers. Again, mistake happened with an account called as Sen Brothers. See, ideally when you purchase goods, purchase account is debited. The person who sells us goods is called a creditor. In this case, Sen Brothers is our creditor. His account should have been credited. But what happened? By mistake, it was debited. So now all that we need to do is what? Before opening, without opening suspense account means before preparation of trial balance, go to Sen's account and credit what? Credit double amount of 2250 because 2250 is unnecessarily debited. You have to cancel that means you have to credit that 2250. What is supposed to be credited 2250 that was not credited, that also has to be credited now. So total amount to be credited is 4500. So go to Sen's account, prepare Sen Brothers account. That's what I have to prepare and say by error in posting credit side 4500. That's all. That is the rectification for third point before preparation of trial balance. Fourth one, furniture purchased from Mary Associates 15,000 has been entered in purchases day book. So this can be a kind of error of principle. Ideally, the entry what should have been passed is furniture account at R2 Mary Associates. What happened now? Purchases account at R2 Mary Associates it happened. So what should be the rectification entry? Ideally it should have been furniture to Mary. It was passed as purchases to Mary. That is the effect of being gone through purchase day book. So what is the rectification entry now? Furniture to purchases. That's all. And that will be the same entry. Even in case of without opening suspense account also entry will be same. Rectification entry will be same because it is affecting furniture account and machinery account. Sorry, the furniture account and purchases account. And it's a double error. Means both sides there is error. And it's a error of principle. So definitely a rectification entry has to be passed like furniture account at R2 purchases account. So that is a entry. Furniture account at R2, purchase account, amount is 15,000. That is point number D. And those points which are rounded here are those same entry will be there even without opening suspense account also. Next, discount received from black and white 1200 has not been entered in the books. When it is not entered, it is an error of omission. Now you have to enter discount received is an income, so income has to be credited. From whom we received? Black and white. So black and white account at R2, discount received account. That should be the entry. Freshly passed. Black and white account at R2, discount received account. Better to use that because it is an income. So 1200 rupees. Of course, this also will be same entry even after preparation of trial balance, even after opening suspense account also. So the second one, fourth one, fifth one, same entries will be there in both the cases. Sixth one, discount allowed to Radhe Mohan and Co 180 rupees has not been entered in the discount column of the cash book. The account of Radhe Mohan and Co has however been correctly posted. So where is the mistake here? Discount allowed should have been entered in the discount column of the cash book. It was not entered, but account of Radhe Mohan was correctly posted. So one-sided error this is also. In cash book, discount column is not at all there, which is not posted there. Now ideally, what you should do? You can go to the discount allowed account. You can prepare or go to the discount allowed account and put it there as 180 rupees on the debit side because it was not at all entered. Now you can enter that on the debit side of discount allowed account. So that's what is the treatment for F point. Discount allowed account is a better word to use. So discount allowed account to 180, debit it with 180 rupees because it was not at all entered in the discount account. Radhe Shyam account or Radhe Mohan account, whoever it is not having any problem. So no need to rectify that. But this is a one-sided error, so it will be different after preparation of suspense account or after preparation of trial balance with the opening of suspense account. So 2, 4 and 5 are having same entries. 1, 3 and 6 are having different treatments without suspense account and with suspense account. Without suspense account we already discussed. With suspense account let us discuss one by one. Point number 1, sales book undercast by 2100. So sales has to be credited for sure 2100. Obviously debit has to be given to suspense account. So the entry should be suspense account at R2, sales account, that is 2100. And by the way, second entry is same, sales returns account at R2, Gaurav and Co account. Second entry is not different, same entry is there in both cases. Third one, goods purchased 2250 have been posted to the debit of supplier Sen Brothers. So ideally it should have been credited to his account, but it is debited. Now we have to credit his account to 4500. Debit should be given where? Naturally suspense account. So suspense account at R2, Sen Brothers account, that will be 4500. That is the rectification entry after preparation of trial balance. Suspense account at R2, this Sen Brothers account. Fourth one will be same entry. Fifth one also will be same entry if you observe. Fourth one means D point. Furniture account at R2, purchase account. So here also furniture account at R2, purchase account. No difference. Then fifth one, black and white account at R2, discount received account. Same entry will be here also. Black and white account at R2, discount received account. So there will not be any difference whether there is suspense account or not. But you have to write that. Don't write smartly, it will be same and all. No, it's a 10 marks question. How do you get 10 marks without writing entries? So you have to just present like this only. If a suspense account is not opened, all the things that you have to show one by one, 6 points. If the suspense account is opened, all the items you should show one by one, 6 points. Then you will get 10 marks. So don't say same as above, ditto ditto like this. No, these things should not be done. You have to write it again. Then sixth one, here 180 rupees of discount allowed has to be recorded now. So discount allowed should be debited for sure, but no place to credit. So when there is no place to credit, where we will credit? Suspense account. So discount allowed account at R2, suspense account. That will be the entry for the sixth point. So that is question number 4, which was a past examination question asked for 10 marks. Like this, many other questions are there. Question number 5. Messrs. Applied Laboratories were unable to agree trial balance on 31st March 2020 and raised a suspense account for the difference. Next year, the following errors were discovered. So this word is important. Next year means what? After closure of the books of accounts means you have to use P&L adjustment account wherever required. So 5 marks question. This was also asked recently. Let us directly get into the entries. Repairs made during the year were wrongly debited to building account. So ideally, the entry should have been, of course, these errors happened last year, discovered next year. That means now they are discovered which are related to last year. So repairs were wrongly debited to building. It's an error of principle. Ideally, the entry should have been repairs account at R2, the cash or bank. But what they did, building account at R2, cash or bank. So now rectification entry, ideally, first of all, should be repairs account at R2, building. But, always you have to say but, because this is not same year's nominal account. Repairs account is a nominal account. Can we debit repairs account now? No, we can't. So what we will do rather, P&L adjustment account at R2, building account. Amount is 12,500. That should be the entry for first point. So profit and loss adjustment account at R2, building account. That is point number 1. Second one, the addition of the freight column in the purchase journal was short by 1500. Freight means that is carriage inwards. Purchase journal having a freight column means that should be carriage inwards. That is also an expenditure. It was short. Now we have to debit it. But can we do that? We cannot. So what we have to do? We have to debit P&L adjustment account only. But there is no credit. So what will be the credit? Only suspense account. So P&L adjustment account at R2, suspense account 1500. Simple. So one-sided error. Error of casting. Third, goods to the value of 1050 returned by customer Rani & Co. had been posted to the debit of Rani & Co. and also to sales returns. So, ideally when the goods are returned by the customer, what should have been done? It should have been debited to sales returns, credited to Rani & Co. Debited to sales returns is okay. Actually, this part is okay. They also debited to sales returns. That is okay. But which part is wrong? Rather than crediting Rani & Co. account, they debited Rani & Co. account. So it is also a one-sided error which happened only in Rani & Co. account. Can we touch that now? Yes, we can, because it is a personal account only. No problem with that. So unnecessarily Rani & Co. account was debited with 1050, whereas it's supposed it should have been credited. So now we have to credit it. First, to cancel the old debit, we have to credit it with 1050. To effect the correct credit, we have to credit it with one more 1050. That means double amount we have to credit it to Rani & Co. account. Now that will be 2100. Naturally, where we have to debit? No option. Suspense account. So suspense account at R2, Rani & Co. account 2100 is the entry to be passed for that error. Then, fourth point. Sundry items for furniture sold for 30,000 has been entered in sales book. The total of which had been posted to sales account. Completely wrong. Completely wrong. So here, furniture was sold. Ideally, furniture should have been credited. But what was credited? Sales account has been credited. Right? Other aspects should have been correct. We have to understand that. So, the party whoever to whom we sold furniture must be there. Those accounts would have been same. But the problem is with furniture account and sales account. So they had credited sales account with 30,000. Now we have to debit it for sure. How can we do that? We can't debit sales account. So we will debit profit and loss adjustment account. Furniture was supposed to be credited. It was not credited. Now we have to credit it. So what we can pass an entry? P&L adjustment account at R2. Furniture account 30,000. That's all. Then, a bill of exchange received from Raja & Co. for 20,000 rupees had been returned by the bank as dishonored and had been credited to the bank and debited to the bill's receivable account. So, when it was dishonored, bill of exchange from Raja & Co. credited to the bank is okay. It should be debited to Raja & Co. First of all, we should know the background of this. How these bills of exchanges will work. What is the background of that? That is important. This is a very common sequence. See, normally what happens when we sell something, we will say customer account. In this case, let us say, for example, Raja account, debtor to sales we will write. Okay. Raja, if he gives cash, no problem. Then don't have any problem with that. This is debtors basically, that is Raja. But he will not give cash, he will give bills receivable. What we received? Okay, bills receivable account debtor to Raja. Next level. Then we discounted this with bank. So bank account debtor, discount account debtor, that is the expenditure, to bills receivable. Means bills receivable is not there in our books, it is already gone. It is not there. Now when the bank does dishonor, when the customer does the dishonor, what should be the entry that is supposed to be passed? Because here already we had cancelled Raja. This is over. Cancelled, both of them. These two are gone. Already bills receivable is gone. No bills receivable account is there in the books. We received money earlier. Now we have to pay it back. So definitely bank account has to be credited. No problem with that. That's okay. Now the question is, which account has to be debited? You cannot debit bills receivable. You have to debit Raja account, because he is the one who is supposed to pay us. So what they did, they debited to bills receivable account. So now what we have to do, we have to credit bills receivable account for sure, because this bill is no more existing, right? If this bill is existing, then it will be bills receivable. This bill is gone, it is dishonored. How can it be still in bills receivable? It cannot be in bills receivable. That means what? This bill has to be cancelled, means it has to be first of all credited, means whatever debit earlier done to the bills receivable account has to be cancelled by crediting bills receivable account. So credit bills receivable account pakka. Sorry. Bills receivable account has to be credited, guaranteed. Debit what? Debit is supposed to be given to Raja account, but it was not given. Now we have to give that. So Raja account has to be debited. That's all. That is the entry. Raja account debtor to bills receivable account. That should be the rectification entry. Now for the same amount, whatever it is, 20,000. So these are the rectification entries to be passed. 5 marks question was asked like this. Each entry will give you 1 mark, provided you write the entry perfectly and narration also perfectly. Don't miss this chapter at all. The advantage of this type of questions is, for example, by chance, let us say there are 5 entries in this question. Let us say you got 4 correct, 1 wrong. That's okay, still you will get 4 marks. The strike rate for such topics will be very high. So only a stupid student will leave a question of rectification of entries, or naturally a student who does not know accounts at all. If anybody knows debit credit concept, core concept clearly, and rectification of entries questions, if you practice well with logical understanding as we are doing now, you should be able to get full marks. But even if you had an issue with some of these things, that's okay. Ultimately, you will be able to get the marks for those items which you have written correctly. So don't ever leave the question which contains rectification of errors. That will be the biggest mistake any student do. Then question number 6 is actually what we already discussed in question number 1. I will leave it for your practice. Only amounts have changed and names have changed, more or less same. So that can be for practice. Then yeah, just point number 1 is now point number 2, point number 2 is point number 1. Nothing different. So more or less it is the same thing. So question number 1 and question number 6 are more or less same. You do that on paper, you do that. Leave it. I am leaving to you for practice. So question number 7, again type of 10 marks question, we can say. The following mistakes were located in the books of a concern after its books were closed and a suspense account was opened in order to get the trial balance agreed. After the books were closed means there could be a P&L adjustment account. One by one. A bills receivable of 1550 was passed through bills payables book. Bill was given by Ram. So it was passed through bills payable book. So correct entry should have been ideally bills receivable account debtor to Ram. But what they passed? Ram account at R2, bills payable. So what is the rectification entry? Bills receivable account at R, 1550. Bills payable account now should be cancelled, which was earlier unnecessarily created. To Ram, that should be double, 3100. So that is the entry. I think this entry was also there. Don't try to remember the entries. Logically, it is the same thing, what we already discussed. Then cash received from Manan was debited to Tapan. See, first of all, it was received from Manan means cash account at our to Manan account. So Manan account should have been credited with 7500. Rather, it was debited to Tapan. So double error this is. Tapan account unnecessarily debited. Now you have to credit it. Manan account, it was supposed to be credited, not credited. Now you have to credit that also. So to Tapan account 7500. To Manan account 7500. Debit will be what naturally? 15,000. Suspense account. So suspense account at R2. Manan account, Tapan account. That is the entry for second point. Third, general expenses 2600 posted in the general ledger as 6200. So how much is the error here? 6200 minus 2600. 3600 extra was posted here in the general ledger. Means expenses are done, are shown more. So you have to reduce the expenses with 3600. We can do that. Can we? No. After the books are closed. See, after the books are closed, it means we cannot do that. Why? Because expenses is a nominal account. Hence, we cannot just use that expenses now. Expenses has to be definitely credited, but we cannot credit expenses. So we have to credit what? P&L adjustment account. Debit, obviously, suspense account. So suspense account at R2, P&L adjustment account 3600. Next, sales day book overcast by 5000. That means sales account was already over. Means credit was more. Credit was more means now we have to rectify means we have to debit it. But can we debit sales? We cannot. Since we cannot debit sales, we have to debit P&L adjustment account. Credit for suspense account. So P&L adjustment account at R2, suspense account 5000. Legal expenses 7670 paid to Gupta were debited to personal account. Similar to the things what we discussed already. So it was actually supposed to be legal expenses to cash, but it was recorded as Gupta to cash. So ideally rectification entry should have been legal expenses to Gupta, but we cannot debit legal expenses. Rather what we have to do now, instead of legal expenses, P&L adjustment account at R2 Gupta. So P&L adjustment account at R2 Gupta 7670 is the rectification entry. Sale of 25,000 to Tina was wrongly debited to the account of Hina. So account of Hina is unnecessarily debited. So Hina account definitely now has to be credited. And sale of 25,000 to Tina means Tina account definitely should have been debited, which was not done. So now Tina account has to be debited. So entry should be what now? Tina account at R2, Hina account, that is 25,000. Both are personal accounts, there is no problem. No need to use P&L adjustment account. Seventh point. After carrying forward a total of 1 pages of purchases book to the next book, amount of 1690 written as 1960. First find out how much is the error here. 1960 minus 1690, 270 rupees. Purchases book was overcasted, means purchases account is more by 270. Debit is more by 270 means we have to credit it now, but we cannot credit purchases. So we have to credit P&L adjustment. So debit will be naturally suspense account. So suspense account at R2, P&L adjustment 270. Then 8th point, 7,000 due to Somdev was omitted to be taken to trial balance completely. So due to Somdev was not at all taken to trial balance means trial balance would not have been actually matched because of this. So now we have to take one-sided only this also. Due to Somdev means definitely is a creditor for us, means credit balance should be there for Somdev. Somdev account should be credited, debit should be given to suspense account. So suspense account at R2, Somdev account. Due to is mentioned here, right? This is wrong. Due to Somdev was omitted to be taken to trial balance. That means We have to pay Somdev. It is not receivable. This is wrong. It's written as due by. This is wrong itself. Due to and due by are not correct, not same. So here the answer is wrong. Don't worry about the answer. Correct answer should be Somdev account debtor, or you can write bills, or you can write creditors account debtor. But once the name is there, we are not using that much sophisticated thing that every person also we call debtor creditor. When name is there, use the name. Suspense account debtor to Somdev account. That is the correct entry. 7,000 rupees for that. Suspense account debtor to Somdev account. Then naturally here also there will be some difference. So this is wrong here. So you prepare a correct suspense account using the same entries that you passed. You do it on paper. That is a similar question what we did also earlier. But points will be different. Don't worry about same question, similar question, same points, etc. Don't worry about points. Don't remember the points. Don't remember any entries. Just whatever the entry comes to us, we should be able to just rectify that according to the stage of the error. Now go to question number 8. Mr. Joshi's trial balance on 31st March 2020 did not agree. Difference was put in a suspense account during the next trading period following errors were discovered. So here also P&L adjustment account will be there. So here total of purchases book of one page 5615 was carried forward to the next page as 6551. So entry amount, I mean the error amount, how much? That you have to first find out. 936 rupees. Purchases account is more because of this. More because of this. That means we have to reduce purchases. Can we do that now? We can't. But reduce purchases means what? We have to credit purchases. Can we do that now? We can't. So what will credit now? P&L adjustment account. So what has to be debited? Suspense account. So suspense account at R2, P&L adjustment account. Amount is 936 rupees. That is the first entry. This was also a past exam question, 10 marks. Second, a sale of 281 rupees was entered in sales book as 821 and posted to the credit of the customer. So here first thing error is sales book, it was entered as 821. So 821 minus 281, 540 rupees. More was recorded as sales. So definitely sale has to be now cancelled. It is not possible. So P&L adjustment account at R 540 guaranteed. That is pakka. That is keep it aside. Then also what happened? Credit of the customer, it was posted. See, when we have a customer, it had to be debited to the customer. How much should have been debited to the customer? 281 should have been debited to the customer, but they debited 821. They credited 821 to the customer. So first to cancel this 821, which was posted to the credit of a customer, that has to be first of all cancelled. So 821 customer account should be debited with to cancel the old credit. Plus to give the correct credit debit, 281 also has to be debited to customer now. Customer account can be debited now, no problem. So 281 plus 821. So how much should be debited to the customer account now? 1102 should be debited to the customer account. Obviously the balance should be going to suspense account. So P&L adjustment account at R 540, that is the excess sales regarded last year. Now we are cancelling it because sales was a credit balance. To cancel that we need to debit it, but since we cannot debit sales account, we are debiting P&L adjustment account. That is a sales related adjustment through P&L adjustment account, 540 only. What about customer? Customer ideally should have been debited with 281, but rather he was credited with 821. To cancel that credit, first you have to debit 821. To give effect to the debit which was supposed to be done but not done, we have to debit 281 also. So 821 plus 281, total customer account has to be now debited with 1102. That is the rectification entry for second point. Interesting point. Third one, a return to creditor 295 was entered in return inward book. However, creditor's account was correctly posted. See, ideally it is returns outward. Outward means it is a purchase returns, but rather it was recorded as sales returns. So sales returns means definitely it would have been debited earlier unnecessarily. Sales returns would have been debited unnecessarily. But ideally what should have been done? purchase returns should have been credited. So where there was supposed to be a credit, we had unnecessarily debited it. Now to cancel that we have to credit it, and to effect that we have to credit it one more time. So double effect has to be given. So 295 double effect means 590 has to be credited to the P&L adjustment account. 590, because you cannot credit and debit now purchase returns, sales returns. All of them are part of trading account. That's why they have to be dealt through P&L adjustment account. For cancelling the wrong debit, we have to credit it. For recording the correct credit, we have to credit it both times. That means total 590 rupees has to be credited to P&L adjustment account. Naturally, the debit will have to go to suspense account. So the entry will be suspense account data to P&L adjustment account. 590 rupees. That was third entry. Fourth entry, cash received from Senu was posted to the debit of Setu. First of all, when we received cash from Senu, Senu account should have been credited, right? But that was not done. But debit of Setu account is unnecessarily debited. So now Setu account also has to be cancelled. The debit to Setu account has to be cancelled by crediting it. And Senu account should have been credited, which was not credited. That also has to be credited now. So what should be the entry now? Definitely suspense account that are to Senu account, to Setu account. That is the entry. Suspense account that are to Senu account, to Setu account. Suspense account will be the total of both the credits, which is 1790 rupees. Then goods worth 1400 were dispatched to a customer before the close of the year, but no invoice was made out. Means we did not record at all. So debtors account data to sales we should have passed, but we did not pass that at all. So debtors account data to P&L adjustment account now we can pass, because we cannot pass sales account. So instead of customers account, you can use the word debtors account. So debtors account data to P&L adjustment account 1400. It is an error of omission. Now we are passing an entry to rectify it. Since we cannot credit sales, we are crediting P&L adjustment account. Goods worth 1600 are sent on sale or return basis to a customer and entered in sales book at the close of the year. The customer still had the option to return the goods. Gross profit margin was 20% on sale. So it was on sale or return basis 1600 rupees. They were entered in the sales book. But still they have the option to return the goods. So can we consider that as a real sale? No, we cannot consider that as a real sale, because the still customer has an option. So what is the cost of these goods? 20% on sale if you take, 1280 is only the cost of the goods. 1600 is what we recorded. That means 320 rupees is sales, we excess recorded. 320 sales rupees worth sales, we excess recorded unnecessarily. That has to be cancelled. Can we cancel that by creating sales account now? No, we cannot. That is why we have to cancel that by using customers account. That is P&L adjustment account actually. So P&L adjustment account, we don't need all this actually. One entry is enough. We don't need both of them. So just P&L adjustment account can be there. How much is the amount? Okay, so that means, yeah, if you take that original entry which was passed to be cancelled now, let us say, which was considered as sale, let us completely cancel that sale. 1600 was passed as an entry earlier. What entry should have been passed? It would have been passed like customer account data to sales or debtors account data to sales. Now we are completely cancelling that. How? By reversing it. So that can be the entry. This is also okay, no problem. So P&L adjustment account, because we cannot debit sales now, P&L adjustment account data to customer account, that is 1600 rupees. Now the inventory, because we cancelled the sale completely, the difference between these two, 1600 minus 320, that will be 1600 minus 320, that is stock, which is 1280 rupees. That 1280 rupees should be in our stock. So that stock is an asset, that means it has to be debited. So that is debited here 1280, inventory account data to P&L adjustment account 1280. So effect is what ultimately P&L adjustment account is debited with 320. So 1600 minus 1280. P&L adjustment account is debited with 320. So that is the same thing we are talking about. Earlier sales were over recorded by 320. Now if you want to cancel that sales, means you have to debit sales with 320. Instead of debiting sales with 320, you can debit P&L adjustment with 320. That is the effect, net effect. But the point is, this sale is not at all a sale. We are completely cancelling it. So instead of dealing only with 320, you take customer's account also completely cancelled, and the remaining amount, the difference between the sale amount and the profit involved in that, is taken to inventories. So two different entries are passed for same error. That is point number 6. So the entries are: first, cancelling the old sale entry, which is P&L adjustment account data to customer. Then creating an inventory as a stock, which is an asset. So that should be debited. Inventory account data 1280 to P&L adjustment account 1280. Net effect on P&L adjustment is definitely 320. So that is the 6th entry. But for that you have 2 entries. Better to be made 2 entries. Because if you take only 320, the other side of it will not be reflected perfectly. You cannot credit customer with 320. Not always correct, because what if he tomorrow returns the entire goods? So that is why just crediting customer with 320 will not be good. So rather than taking only the effect, you better pass both entries separately. Net impact is same. Basically sales is now going to be reduced with 320. Inventory is going to be increased with 1280. Customer account is going to be cancelled. Means he is not due to us. How can he be still as our debtor? He will be due to us only when he approves it. He has not yet approved. So that customer account is completely cancelled. That is the entry for 6th point. 7th point, 600 rupees due from Q was omitted to be taken to the trial balance. Again, due from Q was omitted to be taken to the trial balance. Due from Q means Q account, now we have to record it, Q account data to suspense account. So that is the 7th entry. It should be Q account data or trade receivable account data to suspense account. So here this time it is written as correct entry. That is point number 7. 8. Sale of goods to Mr. R for 3000 rupees was omitted to be recorded. So now ideally entry should have been R account data to sales. But since we cannot use sales account, R account data to P&L adjustment account. So that should be the entry, R account data to P&L adjustment account. Now one more entry you can pass without even being told separately also, that P&L adjustment account balance you transfer to capital account. Whether it is debit or credit doesn't matter. In this case it is debit, so that has been transferred to the capital account. So P&L adjustment already has a credit balance, that is now being transferred to capital account. That you better do without even being asked separately, because anyway P&L adjustment account balance and suspense account balance both have to be transferred to capital account only. We are talking about an individual Mr. Joshi. So what entry you can pass here is P&L adjustment account debtor. What is that P&L adjustment account debtor? That is a balance of P&L adjustment account. How do we know that, sir? Prepare an account for that. In a working note, prepare an account for that. It's a 10 mark question. Prepare a P&L adjustment account, find out whatever is the balance there. So here, definitely the credit side of P&L adjustment account should have been more. So the balancing figure is there. So the debit side is less. So what we have to do? P&L adjustment account debtor to Joshi's capital 5066. So that P&L adjustment account is closed. That entry also you pass whether it is particularly asked or not. That is suggestible. That gives 1 extra mark. So don't miss that entry. Whenever you are passing rectification entries after the final accounts are prepared. That means for the next accounting period. That's all. That is the question number 8. Same way, question number 9. Mr. Ratan was unable to agree trial balance last year and wrote off the difference to the P&L account of that year. Next year, he appointed a chartered accountant who examined the old books and found the following mistakes. So, once again, this is also after the closure of the books of accounts. Now, let us see one by one what entries are supposed to be passed. Purchase of a scooter was debited to conveyance account. 30,000. Ratan charges 10% depreciation on scooter. See, ideally, first of all, the entry should have been scooter account at auto cash, but they did conveyance account at auto cash. So conveyance account has to be definitely now credited with 30,000 for sure. Scooter account can be debited with 30,000, or you can debit it with only 27,000, because anyway 3,000 depreciation should have been provided, which was not provided last year. So the entry here can be scooter account at R, P&L adjustment account at R to conveyance. This is also P&L adjustment account actually. So that means what? P&L adjustment account ultimately will be only 27,000. So the net effect will be what? Scooter account at R to P&L adjustment account 27,000. That is enough. We don't need all that. Scooter account at R to P&L adjustment account 27,000, because the depreciation is also a nominal account. That conveyance account was also nominal account. Those two get nullified. We don't need to write them separately. We cannot write them separately. So the net effect of that on P&L adjustment account is 27,000 only. So the entry is scooter account at R2, P&L adjustment account 27,000. Then earlier purchase account was overcast by 1 lakh. Now what we have to do? We have to reduce it. Reducing purchase account means we have to credit it, but we cannot credit it. So we have to credit P&L adjustment account. What is the option to debit? No option. So suspense account at R2, P&L adjustment account 1 lakh. Third one, a credit purchase of goods from Mr. X 20,000 was entered as sale. Credit purchase it was. So purchases to X, which should have been the entry, but it was entered as a sale. So completely opposite happened. So ideally the correct entry should have been purchases to, who is this guy? X. What we entered? X to sales. So now what we should do? 2x definitely we have to do double amount, that is 40,000, because to cancel this we have to credit it, to record this we have to credit it, both put together 40,000. Then this was not done earlier, but this was done. So to cancel this we have to debit P&L adjustment account, and to debit this also we have to debit P&L adjustment account. So that is also 40,000. So ultimately P&L adjustment account at R to X can be the one entry simply, that is for 40,000. That is the third entry. So sales account, purchase account we cannot record. Ideally what? Sales account at R, purchase account at R, 2X account. But we cannot record them separately. So P&L adjustment account at R to X account directly 40,000. Then receipt of cash from Mr. Anand was posted to the account of Mr. Bhaskar 10,000. So we received cash from Anand. So cash account at R to Anand account it should have been, but it was posted to Bhaskar account. Bhaskar account unnecessarily was credited. Now we have to debit it. Anand account was supposed to be credited, but it was not credited. Now we have to credit it. So Bhaskar account at R to Anand account should be the rectification entry. Bhaskar account at R to Anand account amount is 10,000. Fifth point, receipt of cash from Chandru was posted to the debit of his account 5,000. This is a double error. When you receive cash, is a Chandru account, let us say, it should have been credited, but it was debited 5,000 unnecessarily. So now to cancel that we have to credit it once, and to create a correct entry we have to credit it once. Means totally how much you have to credit now? 10,000 should be credited to Chandru account. Debit has to be given to suspense account. So suspense account at R to Chandru account. Amount is 10,000. That is the rectification entry for fifth point. Sixth point, 5,000 rupees due by Ramesh was omitted to be taken to trial balance. Due by Ramesh means, are we Ramesh? No, we are Ratan. So somebody is due to us. Ramesh is due to us. Now let us record it. Ramesh account debtor to suspense account. That's all. Or trade receivable account or debtors account, whatever it is, to suspense account 5,000. It's an error of omission. Now we are recording it. Sale of goods to Mr. Ram 20,000 rupees was omitted to be recorded. This also completely omitted to be recorded. Ideally we should pass an entry Ram account at R to sales account. We cannot, because sales cannot be credited now. So Ram account at R to P&L adjustment account. That should be the entry now for 20,000. Then amount of 23,950 of purchase was wrongly posted as 25,930. So 25,930 minus 23,950. First of all, the mistake value is 1980. 1980. So that is the value of the mistake. Excess purchase account was recorded. Means more debit happened lot earlier. Now we have to credit it, but we cannot credit purchase account. So what we have to credit is P&L adjustment account. Debit, naturally suspense account. So suspense account at R2, P&L adjustment account 1980. But as I told earlier, whenever you have this type of situations, the balance of P&L adjustment account also and the balance of suspense account also you better transfer to the capital account. Don't forget these entries. Also pass these entries. Whatever the balance of P&L adjustment account is, you better prepare a small working note having a P&L adjustment account and a suspense account. Post all the entries related to suspense account and P&L adjustment account only. Don't post any other entries, and find out the balance and transfer that to the capital account of the owner. In this case, the owner or proprietor's name is Ratan. So transfer that to Ratan's capital account. Those two extra entries in this case will be required. Any question which has suspense account and P&L adjustment account, I would suggest that close them and transfer that to the capital account. That's all. Now moving to the last question. It's not asking any computation or rectification. Only what is asked is classify the following errors under three categories: errors of omission, errors of commission, or errors of principle. First thing first. Sale of furniture created to sales account. It should have been created to furniture account, but it is created to sales account. That is an error of principle. That is the first one. Error of principle, which is a revenue receipt considered as a capital receipt. Capital receipt considered as revenue receipt. It is capital receipt because it is sale of furniture. Unnecessarily considered as revenue receipt. Wrong. Second, machinery sold on credit to Mohan, recorded in journal properly, but omitted to be posted. So naturally it is error of omission. Name itself indicates it is omitted to be posted. In the journal you wrote it, but you did not post it, means you omitted completely. So that is an error of omission. This word itself indicates it. Third, goods worth 5,000 purchased on credit from Ram, recorded in the purchase book as 500. It's a error of commission, clerical error that is. So it is an error of commission. Third one. Fourth one. Purchase worth 4,500 X not recorded in subsidiary books. Not recorded means again error of omission. Last, credit sale wrongly passed through purchases book. Error of commission. So these are just nature of errors which are asked. Sometimes this explanation can also be asked. Don't expect only this thing will give you 5 marks. If it is a 5 marks question, you have to write the reason for it also. Just you have to rewrite the question only most of the times. Since the credit sale was passed through the purchases book wrongly, it is an error of commission. Same way, fourth point. Since the purchases worth 4,500 rupees from Mr. X were not at all recorded in subsidiary books, that means they were omitted to be recorded in subsidiary books. That is error of omission. Like that, you have to rewrite the question in the form of answer, but with correct conclusion. Which type of error that is? These are some of the past examination questions and also the questions from RTPs, revision test papers of ICAI. And if you understand the concepts of debit credit and the core accounting concepts of subsidiary books, etc., then definitely rectification of errors also will be very, very easy. And not only just understanding, if you do more practice by putting pen on paper, writing journal entries, actually, a lot of times what some people or some students do a mistake is they try to audit the answers with the question. Rectification of errors particularly, they do that. Don't do that. You take a question, you write your entries, you write it on paper, then check the answer. Don't try to audit the answer. Okay, I know this. Like that if you do, unfortunately what happens is in the main exam, you will not be able to answer the questions. There you will answer them wrong. If you practice them on paper, then only you will be able to answer the questions properly in the main exam. That's a core principle you have to follow. And that is definitely one of the secrets of success for any CA student, right from foundation to final. More particularly for you, because at foundation level, you have to practice everything on paper for sure. Following that and also following the commonsensical principles of debit credit and the stage of error where we are rectifying it and the other core theories or core rules to be followed as we discussed in the current session. If you practice them well, definitely you will be able to get full marks from this chapter also. Whether it is 5 marks or 10 marks, doesn't matter, both are valuable. So that is rectification of errors, and that concludes this session. Thank you very much.